Hi friends, this is Toby Eunice of Garage Prospecting, and I don't normally start my videos out with an apology, but today I'm going to have to apologize. I started the process of classifying Klesh's Gold Blast Paydirt and got through the first part of it without realizing that I had left the camera off. So we're starting kind of, not quite in the middle, but in the middle of classifying. But I do want to mention that today we're processing Klesh's Gold Blast Paydirt, and it guarantees at least a gram. Now that's, of course, what Mr. Klesh put in it. It's up to me to get it out of it. But I'm going to tell you why we've got a good start. So number one, I did classify to +10, -10. And I noticed right away that there were gold, there was gold in the +10. So I've extracted that, and I'm going to share a picture with you of what it looks like. I think it's 4 or 5 pretty good sized flakes. They didn't make it through the 10 mesh, so I thought that was good. I also weighed it, and what I discovered was that it is 0.525, I think, which is over half already of what Mr. Klesh promises. In addition to that, of course, and I'll show you photos of these as well, he did include in the package some fluorite crystals. They're the blue and green crystals, slightly pale green that you see there, but they're definitely fluorite. In addition to that, I want to point out that I'm not actually going to process the +10. I'm going to put it in a container that I am saving to run through the Mighty Mill. Now, I want to mention that the Mighty Mill arrived yesterday, and I'm going to share it with you in 3 videos. The first video will be an unboxing. The second video will be an assembly, and the third video will be to put it to use as quickly as I can. And my first test is going to be with all this material that I've collected over the past several weeks. That is +10 material. I'm going to put that through the processor. I have some other rocks that I'll be putting through as well, but that's the first test. But I do want to add, and I'm going to put up a couple more pictures here, I do want to add that as I look through the +10, I found a couple of pieces, a couple of stones in there that to me, as I saw them under the microscope, indicated that they might have gold in them. So you can take a look at them for yourselves. In addition to that, I found a couple of small crystals. One, of course, is just graphite. The second one, I'm having trouble determining whether it's a sliver of topaz or a sliver of a beer bottle. It's hard to tell between the two. So here we are. That's +10, and that +10 is going to go in my MiningMagnets container, so we're not going to worry about that. The +20 is here. I'm sorry. Well, it is the +10, -10, +20. And I'm going to continue to classify that. I did run the magnet through it and didn't, although I did find some black sands, it was relatively little and it's pretty good sized. So I am not going to run it through the magnetic separator. We're going to go ahead and process this through 20 mesh that will go through the Desert Fox spiral, 40 mesh that will go through the Blue Bowl, and 60 mesh that will go through the, or that will pass over the USA Prospector Miller table. Okay? I'll come back when I'm close to finishing with all of that so you don't have to watch, all right? All right, we're back. Let me tell you where we are. So I have classified the material. This is the +10. That will go to the Mighty Mill because I believe there are gold-bearing rocks in there. This is the -10. That's going to go into the sluice, and I think you guys might be able to see there's already several pieces of gold in there. Now, I mentioned that in the +10, we did find, I think, about either 4 or 5 fragments of gold. And I'd call them pickers. I used my tweezers to get them out, so I guess they're pickers. So there's gold in there. There are small, this is the -20, that's going to go into the spiral. And there are pieces of gold in there. And this is the -40. I don't see any gold. It'll go into the Blue Bowl. Now, there is no -60 that would go over the Miller table, unfortunately, and that's because I couldn't get any of the material to go through the -60 mesh. It stopped at -40. I don't have -50, so I wouldn't be able to do it anyway. So I just added what little was left in there to the -40. So I'm sure we'll be fine. But I can see gold there, and I can see gold here and there. Can't see anything in here. This looks more like mica when I see it, but maybe there's some smaller flecks of gold in there. All right, let's get started with the sluice and go from there. All right, friends, we're back. This is the -10 material. This is the MiningMagnets cleanup sluice, and we're going to run it through there. There's not a lot of material, but it's better than me trying to pan it. I'm going to turn up the regulated DC power supply so we can get a little bit more volume in the sluice. So I have seen gold in here. I'm hoping to make sure that we capture it in the dream mat. Well, as you can see, we got buku more gold. I will take a picture of that, snuffle it up, and we'll add it to our cache for final weigh-in. All right, guys, here we are. We're going to put the -20 material through the Desert Fox Spiral Gold panning machine. And as I start, I'll be quiet. We'll speed it up. Probably cut some out because this thing goes slow. It is set at 45 degrees and medium water level. We'll change it if necessary. All right, guys, so let's take off the plastic cup and pour it into the pan, see what we got. I'm going to put a little water in there. All right, I hope you guys can see that. There is buku gold in there. I'll clean it up and take a picture for you, and we'll go on to the blue bowl. All right, friends, here we go with the blue bowl with a -40 mesh material. I currently have it set, or the DC regulated power supply, at 5.5 volts. I'll have to raise that a little bit, but right now it's at about 1/4 inch. The bowl is level. So let's turn off the power supply and pour the material in. Sorry about that, guys. I had to change the battery in the camera. So let's just go ahead with this. I'll turn the power supply back on, and I'll turn the overhead light off so you guys can see what's happening. I guess I should point out we're seeing some gold right along the outside here. So I'm hoping you can see this little pile of gold and some very fine black sand. There's a little tiny valley, at the bottom of the volcano, right in here. And that's where this very fine black sand ends up. But we have another good little sample of gold in here inside the blue bowl. The blue bowl really does a fantastic job of getting everything to stick. So let me take care of cleaning this up. I will add it to the rest of the cache, and we'll cook it up and boil off the water, and then we'll weigh it and we'll look at it under the microscope. Okay? All right, guys, I think we're ready to cook this up. All right, friends, let's weigh this out, see what we got. Tear it out here. Wow. Okay, that's 1.470 grams. That is almost a half gram more than what Mr. Klesh promised in this bag. But I have yet to add that half gram's worth of pickers that we got at the beginning. So let's add those and see where we're at. Now, somebody's measurements are wrong, probably mine. So we have 1.820 grams total from all the sources, and I think that's a pretty good result. I mean, it promises at least 1 gram. We got nearly 2. I know it's 18 thousandths less, but 1.82 is going to keep flopping between 5 and 0 while I'm talking and breathing on it, is apparently all that it takes. I think that's a pretty good result. I hope you guys are happy with it too. All right, let's look at it under the microscope, see what everything looks like. All right, let's see what it looks like under the microscope. This is at the lowest level of magnification. We'll bring it in. It's really good looking gold, and you can see some of those pickers right there on top. It's got a lot of variety in color and shape, so it probably came from different locations. Let's zoom in just a little bit. And I'll keep doing this so that we can see what we're looking at right here. Oh yeah, very nice. Some of it's got, I call it dirty gold. It's not quite as bright as other material. I mean, some of it's dull, but like this one on the end over here, it just seemed to be a little bit dirtier than the rest. So I hate calling gold dirty. For the most part, I have no complaints. Pretty good looking gold from, like I said, what looks like a variety of locations. And I'm getting better at cleaning it. I don't see as much magnetite or hematite in there, although there are a couple of small pieces in there. So that's improving. I should mention to you that it always pays to check your tailings, because I did find a couple of, eye visible sized pieces in the tailings that I checked to make sure that I had everything. That's a good looking piece of gold right there. A good looking piece of gold, and then right next to it is that kind of dull brownish dirty one, but this shiny one wins the Instagram shot. So, all right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. I will post some more material over the weekend. Like I said, I've got my Mighty Mill in, so I'll post several videos. One box opening, one assembling, and one testing it out, because I have some material that I want to test it out on that goes beyond the material that I've been saving. And then I also received a new aluminum sluice. It's a compact one, but I figured I needed one for the amount of material that I was collecting out in the arroyos. And so I ordered one that'll let me process that material just a little bit faster. There's a good looking piece right there. Then right next to it, a little flat one in the middle there. It's always pretty, isn't it? Okay, thanks for watching, guys.